You know, some leaders, they change their country. But every now and then, someone comes along who changes the entire course of human history. And then, well, there's Alexander the Great. We're about to dive into how one man didn't just conquer the world, he literally redrew its map forever.
It really makes you wonder, right? Can just one person really change the world? I mean, truly change it? Well, stick around because the story of Alexander, it offers one heck of an answer. And let me tell you, it's a powerful one.
All right, let's get into it. Our story starts not with some grand emperor, but with a young prince. We're in the Kingdom of Macedon, and this is Alexander, son of the very powerful, very ambitious King Philip II. So here's what's so crucial to understand. Alexander wasn't just trained to be another soldier. Nope. His dad went out and hired the greatest mind of the age, the philosopher Aristotle, to be his personal tutor. Just imagine that. So while he's learning how to fight, he's also getting this deep dive into science, philosophy, political strategy. This wasn't just school. This was basically forging a revolutionary mind from the ground up. But then, everything changed. His life takes this violent, super abrupt turn. His father, King Philip, is assassinated. And just like that, Alexander is thrown onto the throne. And get this, he was only 20 years old. I mean, can you even imagine? King of a really unstable kingdom at an age when most of us are just trying to figure out what to do with our lives.
And the pressure was just immense. Everyone was thinking it. He's just a kid. No way he can handle this. His kingdom immediately erupted with rebellions. But did Alexander hesitate? Not for a second. He swiftly and pretty brutally crushed every single uprising. He was sending a crystal-clear message to everybody, friend and foe. I am a force to be reckoned with.
Okay, so he's secured his kingdom back home. What does he do next? Well, he turns his eyes to a target so insane, so audacious, it seemed completely impossible. He decides to take on the Persian Empire, the undisputed superpower of the entire known world.
I mean, this was the ultimate David versus Goliath story. On one side, you've got Alexander's Kingdom of Macedon. Yeah, they've got a smaller army, but these guys are battle-hardened, super disciplined. And on the other side, the colossal Persian Empire, led by King Darius III. We're talking about a superpower with what seemed like endless money, endless resources, and endless soldiers.
And Alexander's goal, it wasn't just to poke the bear. It was to conquer Persia, completely. He was setting out to topple a giant that had basically run the world for centuries. Talk about ambitious.
And what happened next? Well, it turned into one of the most incredible military campaigns in all of human history. This is where he cemented his reputation as the invincible commander. Seriously, the speed of his conquest was just breathtaking. Look at this. 334 BC, he crosses into Anatolia to start the invasion. Just 2 years later, boom, he's conquered Egypt. The real turning point, though, was in 331 BC at the Battle of Gaugamela. He's facing a Persian army that vastly outnumbered his own, and he wins through pure tactical genius. By 330 BC, the entire mighty Persian Empire had just collapsed. 4 years. That's all it took to bring down a superpower.
But see, Alexander wasn't just about conquering, he was also about building. When he got to Egypt, the people actually welcomed him as a liberator, happy to be free from Persian rule. And it was right there that he founded a city that would carry not just his name, but his vision for the future, Alexandria. This place would go on to become one of the most important centers for learning, for culture, for trade in the entire ancient world. But for Alexander, conquering Persia, the world's biggest empire, wasn't enough. Not even close. For him, that was just the beginning. He became obsessed with one idea, reaching the very edge of the known world.
And this march was just relentless. He pushed his army further than any Western army had ever gone before. He crosses through what's now Iran, he battles his way through the incredibly harsh terrain of Central Asia, and he finally reaches the frontiers of India. As far as they were concerned, this was it, the edge of the world.
But right there, at the edge of the world, he finally ran into a wall, an enemy he couldn't defeat. And it wasn't another army. It was the will of his own men. They were exhausted. After years and years of nonstop fighting, thousands of miles from home, his loyal soldiers just said no more. They refused to go any further. And for the very first time, Alexander had to turn back.
That journey home was dangerous. And on the way, the unthinkable happened. Alexander, the man who survived who knows how many battles, who conquered the world, he fell ill and he died. He was only 32 years old. Just 32.
So his life was shockingly short, right? But his death, that wasn't the end of his story, not by a long shot. Because it's his legacy, what he left behind, that truly changed the world.
You see, his conquest kicked off a completely new era in history, what we call the Hellenistic Age. Now, his empire, it fell apart pretty quickly after he died, but the culture he spread, that didn't go anywhere. Suddenly you had Greek language, Greek art, Greek philosophy, all blending with the traditions of the East. It created this whole new interconnected world that stretched all the way from Greece to India.
So let's just recap the impact here. In a little over a decade, he built one of the largest empires in history. He kicked off an age of cultural mixing like nothing the world had ever seen. And of course, he secured a spot as one of the greatest military leaders of all time. Alexander didn't just conquer the world, he completely remade it.
So we started by asking if one person can change the world, and I think we have our answer. But it leaves us with an even bigger, crazier question. What if he hadn't died so young? What if Alexander the Great had lived another 20, 30, even 40 years? What would our world actually look like today?